Oh no, boys and girls, it's the weather report for Wednesday, September 14th, 2022. Winter is falling. It's horrible, horrible. And we have James and we have Rebecca. So James, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of your stuff.
I just finished recording chapter 2 and I'm getting ready to upload it. So what I decided to do differently, Rebecca, is instead of like having a long stream where I stop a lot to comment and then we have discussions afterwards, I'm trying to separate it where I just have the reading.
Cool.
With a small disclaimer at the front saying that I'm not necessarily endorsing the beliefs. We're just trying to like share and understand. And then I read the chapter and then I end it. And then separately I'll have discussions afterwards if anybody wants to talk about the chapter.
Oh, awesome. Cool. James, thank you so much for doing that. This means so much to me.
I went blurry.
Yeah, I really, despite our differences in perspectives, I really appreciate the spirit in which you wrote this book, in which your presence is represented on YouTube. You want to be understood and you want to understand. You want to build those bridges of love and understanding. And I do respect that, and I think we need more of that in this world. So absolutely, I consider it a privilege to be able to share this with other people.
On this channel, we absolutely love and understanding.
Yeah, we're big on that. A bunch of hippies over here.
Yeah, we're a bunch of hippies.
Yeah, I'm here in the background going, love, love, love. All you need is love. So anyway.
Yep. Anyway, so we got Rebecca.
I want to do a quick screen share and share this one channel that I found just for everybody's edification and benefit. It's called Earthmaster.
Oh, your earthquake thing.
Yes, the earthquake channel. It's the best earthquake reporting channel I found so far on YouTube. At first, I started watching the Yellowstone reports. It would just report tectonic activity or earthquake activity around Yellowstone. And then Geology Hub mostly reports on volcanoes, and sometimes tsunamis and earthquakes. But this one will give you a detail of all the earthquake activity that we monitor across the globe over the last 24 hours. So every day you get a new report. Sometimes, like there was a 7.6 earthquake in Papua New Guinea, I think last week or over the weekend. Really interesting stuff. And then North Central Oklahoma, where I used to live for a while, had a whopping 1.0 on the Richter scale earthquake. So, it's the apocalypse up there.
Yeah,
but just from those large reported events to even the smallest ones, it will go into it. It will give you tectonic reports from all the different science agencies that deal with that. So I highly recommend you, and the link should be in the description sometime before this weather report is over, that you go check that out, and hopefully you'll be just as fascinated as I am.
Scott, it's already in the description, Scott. And that planet Earth, that planet Earth you put there, it looked like it was being attacked by aliens.
It kind of did.
Yeah, it
kind of did. So it may be like a coded aliens attack watch too.
Now, Rebecca, am I remembering correctly that all these earthquakes are the signs of the last times? Is this meaningful for you?
Well, yeah, but there's always been earthquakes, so it's not. I don't really think that's like a huge sign of the times. But
good answer.
Thank you for that. Good answer. Yeah. So back in the 60s, we were hunting in northern Minnesota, and there was a major earthquake in central United States, right? And not major, but it was bigger than we'd ever seen before. And my Uncle Paul was hunting with us, and he always had a flask of whiskey with him, and he was standing on a gigantic rock outcropping, in Ely, Minnesota, like way, way up north. And he felt the ground shake. And he said that he almost quit drinking. Almost. Because he thought it was. And then we came back and we heard on the radio that there was this earthquake. But that was pretty weird. Because we don't get them in Minnesota. But if you're standing on like bedrock in northern Minnesota, you could actually feel that thing underneath your feet. He said he felt the earth sway, right? Which is pretty cool. It's my anecdotal story from deer hunting days in northern Minnesota when I was a Ute. I was a Ute.
The only earthquake I ever went through was a tiny tremor up in Jonesboro, Arkansas, back when I was in first grade. I was just walking across the room to go get some watercolor paints or whatever, and I just started walking weird. I thought I was like tripping and falling, like I was clumsy. But then one of the teachers later came and put her head in the door and say, "Hey, did you feel that earthquake?" And that's the only time I've ever felt a tremor.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I think when I was 13 out in San Francisco, I felt it once. I remember something happening, but it wasn't a very major one. But that was I was in fear of earthquakes when I stayed out there.
Now there was a video, I think, of the Papua New Guinea earthquake as people were experiencing it. With phone technology, you get to see that all the time now. And people, they were shaking. You could see houses and trees shaking. And the building stood up well. I guess they've had a good infrastructure plan in place, because it didn't look, things fell, some structures collapsed, but for the most part, everything stayed upright. And people, as that was going on, you could tell the ground was shaking, but they were smiling, which was kind of an odd response, I would think. But maybe at first it is a little odd and tingly. I don't know. But, Rebecca, have you ever been in an earthquake?
In Maryland, I don't remember if it was 2010, 2011, sometime around there, but earthquakes are not usually expected there. So I wasn't sure what was happening. I didn't know what was going on, but the house shook for about 20 seconds. And then that was that earthquake, it damaged the Washington Monument. If you guys remember when that happened.
I do remember. I remember something about that.
Okay, so we got Rebecca for about another 15, 20 minutes. So we're going to pick on Rebecca. Is that okay?
Yeah, great.
Let's pick on Rebecca. So I just wanted to play this clip from Jason's video, which I have linked.
Is something that I wanted to read, okay, because this is from a book. It's only a few years old. This is 35 Origin of Life researchers contributed to this book, okay? And this is in the first part of it, the introduction, it says, if we envisage the route from mundane chemistry to life and onward to mind as a trajectory in some enormous state space, then not every trajectory is consistent with the known laws of physics. In fact, it may well be that almost all trajectories are inconsistent with the known laws of physics. So this is an admission. This is, if there are 35 Origin of Life researchers had an answer that was consistent with the laws of physics for how life could arise, I'm certain that they wouldn't want to admit that in the introduction to their book.
Okay. So how about the rest of the story, Rebecca?
What about it?
The rest of the story. Okay, first of all, that's the first chapter. That's by Sarah Walker and Lee Cronin. And it's about something called their assembly theory. And it's right here, this little thing. And that isn't, they weren't admitting defeat in the introduction of the book. They were talking about their assembly theory, and they were talking about the fact that some of the trajectories through the state space may well be impossible. In fact, many of them are, tons of them are. And their whole point with assembly theory is to show which ones are impossible and which ones are not impossible. And they go on to explain what they were doing with that particular theory. And then if you go to the next chapter, which I'm surprised you didn't read, he talks about assembly theory, and the whole book is about basically the state space and the search for the solutions to the abiogenesis problems. And we call them problems because that's what we call things in science that we haven't yet, entirely nailed down. So we have physics and life, and they call it the hard problem of life, basically abiogenesis. And Sarah Walker is a lot of people don't like her for some reason. Some professionals that I've talked to.
Maybe she's too honest. Maybe they don't like it that she admits that, we have to solve some of these problems.
Her and Lee Cronin are working on abiogenesis on other planets, basically. That's the research that they do. She's certainly not of the opinion that it can't happen. And so I don't know why you would cherry pick the middle of a paper on assembly. That's what you're doing. Okay, you cherry pick that now, because that isn't what the article was about. The article was about how basically assembly theory works with these state spaces. And the whole import of the article was that what we have here is something called a dynamical system, right? Now, a dynamical system is where you look at a state space and you find a trajectory through that state space. Assembly theory points out that at every point in that state space, the entire space changes, and it changes based on information. So they're trying to show how information and replicators in biology basically create this very strange phenomena we have, which is life, which is unlike any other physical system. So life is a very different kind of system because it operates on this copy, not just copying, but multiplication of copies with slight variation, basically through this dynamic state space where every hierarchical level affects every other level. So from the top, like our culture affects our evolution, and our evolution affects our culture, and it goes all different ways. And that's what the whole book is about. And we got all these different articles. How did information emerge? The emerging codes of chemical evolution, digital and analog information. And at every point, we've got a huge field of research that we're doing. And we're very new, like we're 100 years old in real technology. Biology is probably, you could make a case that it's about 50 years old, real molecular biology. We are very new to this technology, and this book is all about the different pathways through that. So my problem with that is that you claim, you said it's an admission. No, where did they admit that abiogenesis is impossible? Where did they say that?
No, they didn't say it's impossible. Of course, like you said, they are researchers, so they're still trying to figure it out, but they're being honest about the difficulties with it. And the reason I read that quote is because often people are talking as if this origin of life, the hard problem of life, is nearly solved. So I was just trying to show that the origin of life researchers themselves admit that this is far from being solved.
Have you heard my estimate on it? I think I said 100 to 150 years. That's my estimate on it. Who's saying it's solved? Who's saying that it's almost solved?
Well, you would have to go back and listen to the video with me and Taylor to find out why. Like, what am I responding to there? I don't know. You're
responding to Taylor saying there are no working hypotheses, and Jason saying no, there certainly are working hypotheses. We have a ton of them in abiogenesis, and Taylor is just like nuh-uh. It's like no.
I know, I love that girl.
Oh my god! And then somebody pointed out in the comments, I think, that there were, in the last year, there are 8,600 papers published in abiogenesis, and overall there were hundreds of thousands that have been published in abiogenesis. And if you want to put up rhetoric to create misinformation, then you would say abiogenesis is a solved problem, or you would say they're admitting that it can't be solved, that it's impossible, which is what you implied, Rebecca. And I have a problem with that. I have a problem with misinformation in science.
Okay, well, I'm sharing my perspective. I don't think it's possible for life to arise by natural processes. So, and right now, the science backs me up, not you. So
no, it doesn't. How
Yes,
does
it
it back
does.
you up that? How does it back you up that it's impossible?
Well, because it is, no, I didn't say, well, okay, the science is on my side. I'll say that. The science, of course, we can't say that it's impossible, but what our observations tell us right now is that it is implausible to the point that we have no pathway right now that looks like it could happen.
No scientist would say that in abiogenesis research. They all,
well, it's their job. They don't, of course, they don't want to admit it.
no, it's not because they don't want to admit it. It's because we don't believe it. None of us believe that it's impossible, that there's any impossibility going on here. What happened to my green highlight?
If they thought it was impossible, they'd leave the field, right? So, of course, they don't think it's impossible. But I'm just saying, if we're talking about which position has scientific evidence to support it, the science is on my side.
No, it isn't.
Origin of life does not happen by natural processes.
No, it isn't. There is nothing in science that says origin of life can't happen by natural processes. There's not a bit of research anywhere that says it can't happen. Okay, you cherry picked a quote from a theory where they're explaining what they're doing and why they're doing it, right? There's nothing in science. No science says it can't happen. No science.
Now, Leo has a couple of questions that might be relevant here. He's asking, under which modality is it impossible? How,
right. What's the contradiction?
Yeah. What do you mean by impossible? And then what's the contradictory data?
Okay. Now, what's being claimed in abiogenesis is that life can arise by natural processes, correct? This is the hypothesis. Okay. Now, what is the experimental evidence that shows that life can arise by natural processes? Right now, there is no evidence that life can arise by natural processes. This is why I say the science is on my side. If you have experimental evidence that shows that life can arise by natural processes, then the science would be on the side of your hypothesis. So
every single paper ever done in abiogenesis is evidence for how life can arise by natural processes. Okay, you pick one particular paper. Okay, and that paper shows you how the nucleic acids can be created on through abiotic means in the Hadean Earth atmosphere, right, or environment. That paper shows us one particular thing, that these nucleic acids can all be created. Another one shows you that nucleic acids can be created on comets. Another one shows you how many of those comets crashed into the Earth during that period, and what amount of nucleic acids ended up in the Earth's biosphere or geosphere, right? So every single paper is evidence for life arising from natural processes. Now, what you're looking for is something like in Genesis, where they said, "Oh, God created the Earth." You're looking for something that says, "Oh, natural." We have this hypothesis from rocks to living to elephants, right? That we have this entire thing, this very, very complicated living system, right? Developing, and we can tell you every step of the way. That's what you're asking for. And you're claiming that there is no evidence when every single paper is evidence for the hypothesis. They're showing you this very long pathway, which consists of trillions and quadrillions of steps. And they're showing you each individual little piece of evidence along the way, right? And then there are other papers that do overall hypotheses, that try to show you how we get from one system to another. Okay. And there are about 150 different systems that develop. So how can you say the science is on your side when you have all these scientists producing all of these papers, each one having a bit of evidence for this hypothesis, this overall hypothesis.
Now,
And you think, science is
Leo
a
has some papers he'd like to share with Rebecca. Could we throw him a link?
We can throw Leo a link. Oh, let's see here.
Well, our concern is that Rebecca is a
I have to
short-timer
leave.
today.
Yeah, you got to
very
leave
shortly.
But I mean, you're putting out rhetoric that is just patently false, patently wrong, and you
I feel
can't
the
do
same
that.
way about you, Mike. You are
Well,
putting out lots of false
What rhetoric?
information.
Okay, am I saying that the problem is solved? I said 100 and 150 years.
You're
before
saying
we
each one of those papers is evidence
It is
that
evidence. What do you think?
abiogenesis can happen. And
What do you think evidence is, Rebecca? What do you think evidence is?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about experiments that can show us the process that you're talking about, right?
What process?
That's what we.
Okay, what are you claiming that I'm saying it's evidence that life came from natural means and we know how it did? We know the exact pathway?
I don't.
Do
you know what? If that's not what are you actually saying?
I'm saying that every single paper has a number of bits of evidence for a very small, tiny, minuscule step in this process. That every paper adds to the evidence and adds to the possible hypotheses that we can develop. Okay, like when it comes to evolution, it's slam dunk. We know that works. Okay, but when it comes to abiogenesis, that one is like a big whole bunch of unknowns, which we're going to solve over the next 150 years, right? Okay, but everything is evidence for this entire theory, every single little piece. And you're thinking that I'm claiming that we have evidence that, yes, this is how it developed. No one knows how yet. We don't know. Do you understand the difference? When you say there is no evidence, when you say science is on your side, you are speaking untruths. I mean, this is completely false, patently false, and I think you should be ashamed of saying things like that. That would be the same as me saying it's all been solved. We know exactly how it works.
Now, I'm curious, Rebecca. Several months ago, it may be even over a year ago, Astrobiology Journal published a hypothesis by David Deamer and Bruce Dahmer about their particular hypothesis about the origin of life. It involved the results of certain experiments, both in the field and in the lab. There's an abiogenesis expert named Jack Szostak. Help me out with the pronunciation. He's published a lot of work that features actual experiments and field work. And then, of course, Nick Lane. He's written some popular level books about the topic. Have you read through those items in the literature?
John Sutherland?
Probably not.
Okay, yeah. And so even though it may not provide the because like Speed said, there's quite a number of things to research and to put out there, but to say that science shows that it's not possible, no,
it doesn't. It's never done.
It seems a little aggressive in the fact that there's all that literature that is accessible and available, but hasn't been read yet by you. So,
well, I mean,
let me just put that out there as possibilities. It was an excellent article, great graphics. It showed its homework on the field work and the lab work, and it might let you see that it's not an impossibility. It's just has all sorts of possibilities that need to be put together into a more expansive theory.
Yeah, and a lot of those steps are fantasies.
How do you know that? You haven't read the work.
How do you know it's a fantasy?
I mean, I can't be an expert on everything, guys.
How do you know what happened, Rebecca? Were you there to witness that it's a fantasy? Were you there? How do you know it's a fantasy? Okay,
I'm
there
not-
you are with the
no, I
rhetoric
wasn't
again.
there.
Okay, you're just preaching. It's rhetoric. Okay, that's
Well-
a problem I'm having.
Yeah, look, guys, I can't be an expert on everything.
Right.
So
You're not.
I haven't read those origin of life things, and I'm not, but I am, taking my information from scientists who are familiar with the origin of life research. So, that's I'm giving you their answers.
Are these scientists with the Creation Institute by any chance?
Yeah,
No.
most of them. Yeah.
ICRAIG,
Guys, no.
Sal Cordoba.
The people that are actually working in the industry, that are actually doing abiogenesis research, like Shostak and Sutherland and Lane and all of those, and I'm going to say it wrong, Damer and Damer. Okay, I said it right. All those guys. I mean, none of those guys are saying that it's impossible. The only people saying it are impossible are people like, and Seigar won't even say it's impossible. He'll say, ask him. You're going to have him on shortly and see if he'll say it's impossible. He knows it's impossible. I don't think he'll say that.
Sai just thinks that that's how God did it. That God used abiogenesis and then evolution to create life.
Well, Sai comes in a little bit later, I think, at eukaryotes or something like that. Says,
oh, I see.
He's skeptical about abiogenesis. So
gotcha.
And everybody has their, different bits of skepticism, and it's like, but I mean, we got to quit lying to people. We got to quit, saying that, we know it's impossible because somebody was talking about a particular part of their theory, and you cherry pick a quote and you make it sound like, oh, there are problems. That's what scientists call things in the beginning of the paper that they're working on. They call it a problem. We have a lot of problems. We have a problem right now of cancer. Cancer's a problem, right? Doesn't mean that it's impossible to cure it.
I'm reminded about the problem scientists had trying to explain diseases, right? Because we didn't know anything about germs, about microbiology yet. And so, religion's answer was, well, these are just spiritual illnesses caused by the battle of forces between the forces of good and evil. And we accepted those answers for a very long time. And because we accepted those answers, it really held back our scientific advancement and cost untold lives in the process. That's what this reminds me of, except that there's a little bit less at stake because it's, anyway, we're not being held back by it.
Rebecca, you probably got to go in a half an hour.
Yeah, I got to go.
You and Cy and that other guy, you can talk about how narrow-minded I am and how, whatever. But right now,
don't talk about you, Mike.
I'm not letting you. I know you call me "you shall not be named." Okay, right now I am not letting you get away with rhetoric that is simply false.
All right.
It might be false, but I don't think Rebecca intends to be dishonest. She just
she doesn't.
Misled.
She believes this crap.
Yeah, that's the only thing I want to clarify.
That's why we love you, Rebecca. Right. We're trying to help you. We're trying to help you out of this goddamn young Earth creationism.
Hey, can we repeat
guys,
real quick?
I have to go now, but it's on my Examining Evolution channel.
Okay. That's what Leo wanted to know.
All right, guys.
I will link to it. I will link to it.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, thanks for linking.
Always
love you, Rebecca. Okay. Love you, Rebecca.
Thank you. Love you guys too. Bye.
Anyway, okay. So James, you've been doing a lot of streams.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of streams.
Is at it, isn't he?
I like yesterday.
I got a copyright. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Tell me about that copyright thing. What was that over?
See, I was just sharing a video. It's a music video, but I stopped it like every 20 seconds to talk about what was just said, and then I would continue. I thought I was safe that way, but then Jay explained to me later. He's like, "No, that's just a rumor. It's not true. Just
they can nail you.
Yeah, for even just 20 seconds at a time." And I just think, well, how is anybody supposed to talk about song videos we like if we can't share little pieces of it? That makes no sense at all.
Yeah, well,
is there any kind of licensing fee that you would technically have to pay to be able to do it?
I guess I could look into that.
So. I can't remember what the organization is, but way back in my churchianity days when I was involved in churches and stuff, there was a controversy about church music and copyrights and things like that, and like copying on the photocopier, music from hymn books that get passed out for choirs to sing.
Yeah,
and it turns out there are as a licensing fee, like a subscription, you can pay in to be able to do certain things with copyrighted music. It doesn't mean that you can just do what you want willy-nilly, but it did require a cost of money. And I don't know if realistically there's anything that YouTube creators can do kind of like that.
I don't understand why the
Pipeline Audio says do not mess around, and I don't know if that has to do with the copyright laws, but I agree.
Okay, I got to ask James, I don't understand what happened to you. Did you were streaming and they interrupted your streaming, or you got a copyright strike?
Yeah, they locked my stream down where nobody could see or hear anything after that while I was still streaming. And we were more than halfway through the song, 20 seconds at a time, right? And so I had to stop it and start a new stream. Otherwise, it would just be blank space.
Wow. And what was the song that you were
Hobson, Ill Mind #7. It's a weird, I wish he would have named it something else because the name of the song doesn't really make any sense to viewers, but it is about the struggle of a man who was raised in a Christian religious home and with Christian friends, etc. And it came to the point where, because he was a Christian for a while, and it came to the point where he had to admit to himself that none of this makes any sense. And so he's internally struggling because he wants there to be a God, and if there is, he wants to do the right thing. He wants to follow that God and please that God and honor it. But he's like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do because I haven't heard anything from a God. I've only heard it from dudes who can't even agree amongst each other what any of it means. So here I am. Here he is with all this internal struggle and pain and strife in his life, and alienated now from all his friends because they found out that he's going through this crisis of faith. And he's basically like, it's a rap where he's kind of trying to talk with God and say, look at all this pain that I'm in. Can't you see that I care? How come I'm not hearing a word from you about this? And so that was a discussion. And it was in response to the idea that a lot of religious fundamentalists put forth, where they accuse people who lose faith or aren't interested in becoming a Christian or are critical in any way of just wanting to sin. You just want to pursue a life of, pleasure and laziness and hedonism. And
so what I'm wondering is back to the copyright strike thing. Like usually when I get a copyright strike, it'll be after the fact when they review the video. How in the hell do you set it up so that you can actually strike a stream down when you play something? You've got to go to, this guy, whoever he is, must have went to great lengths to get YouTube to do that.
And I just don't. He must have. It's still. I think you can still go to that video. I'll send you a link in your email, and you can take a look toward the end. You'll see that they blank it out.
I've got it. Says, I think I already linked it. Let's see, where are we here? Which one was it? It was it Life, Mind, and Live?
No,
Life?
it was the one before that. It was one before that where we were talking about the title has something to do with the abortion issue.
Defending strong atheism. Let me see. I'm trying to find the abortion one. Yeah, I just downloaded that video to make sure that it doesn't disappear entirely.
Awesome. Because we had some really good discussions on it, so I'm really hoping that people will still be able to at least hear the part that wasn't blocked.
Hey, Speed, look at the private chat real quick.
Yeah, and they put it back up. So who's it? Private. Oh, wait a minute. Speed, can we get Leo and Germania in here if they're? We can.
Yeah, Leo and Gura, I want to talk, if you can come in, about that a situation that Oz you were talking about, just to kind of get an idea of what you're talking about. And Leo, I would love for you to show the papers you had in mind if you're able to come in and express that. We didn't really have time with Rebecca here, but maybe we can go ahead and talk about it.
Leo's had a link for quite a while. There's something that I've got to try out on this stream, and having Leo in would be a good opportunity to do it because I want to check for a copyright.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. So,
you will all know shortly. So,
and Pipeline Info, who I've not seen before, welcome to the live chat. Pipeline Audio, is putting up some interesting information about copyright violations in music.
Yeah, so we have a new subscriber, Archbishop Richard Forceginn, and I thought we should just. I linked his channel, I believe, in one of his videos in the description, and I just thought maybe we should just do a quick review before we get off on other things. Just listen to a little bit of Mr. Forceginn or Archbishop Forceginn. He's pretty wonderful, I think. He's wonderful. And his production values may seem crappy, but they add to the mystique of the Archbishop. So,
we could say maybe instead of crappy, unrefined.
well, on
Rather
purpose,
crappy.
yeah, he's doing it on purpose, and it just fits in with everything that happens on this channel, and he made me laugh.
Death, resurrection, and the Jesus onward up into heaven. When they needed to roll dice to replace the Judas, there was 11, and then you need 12. The signification of the 144,000 and the 12 disciples needs to be complete for the Lord's power to become evident in moving towards helping the firemen put out the fires and the rain. Yes, God, He changed the weather for you, just you. But the sad part about it is because of your prayers, other people's prayers were denied and they had to suffer. Don't you see the deceit in your actions? And it was because you were praying for your own people, not the people across the world that were suffering. No, not at any time did you know.
Anyway, you get the idea. He does Bible readings and commentary, and
Fun.
It is hilarious. He is hilarious. So I liked him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anywhere near as many views as I think he should have. But anyway,
Yeah.
I like the guy.
All right. Well, if we have a link, I'll go sub.
Yeah, everybody should go sub to this guy. I think I put it in the video details. So somebody said something. I missed it, Scott. You had something on the screen and I took it down about copyright strikes. How do they do that?
Yes, this person, Pipeline Audio. Let me go back up to where he starts. I think this is where he started. He said, I twice lost all my streaming ability from recording studio and even my own speaking voice. Blaming content ID trolls that basically steal your shit and then sue you, I guess.
Okay.
And then he goes on. You have no recourse, no number to call, anything. A number of celebrities made some noise on his behalf.
Okay.
Nice.
They claimed his speaking voice. In other words, how would you like it if you couldn't put out your own stuff because somebody else has copyrighted your speaking voice or trademarked it or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd fly across the world and be at their door. That's what I would do.
The thing is that these people basically they're getting advertised by you repeating what they did, and I don't understand what. Like, okay, there was a WordPerfect. I think it was the first word processor that really became popular back in 1984 on microcomputers, and they were getting all kinds of people stealing their software. They were copying it, and so they asked the company why they weren't doing anything about it, like all the other companies were suing people and basically going nuts. And the people at WordPerfect says every time somebody steals our software, we get 10 new sales. So they were getting like word of mouth. Basically, people stealing their software is how they got popular, and their sales kept going up and up and up. So every company that was smart realized that the people that are stealing your software, they're not going to buy it anyway. They can't afford it, right? So you may as well just go for the free advertising because and then I had a software product and we had a couple of people wrote us letters and say, I feel real bad. We stole your software and we're going to give you a check for it. We used to send their check back to them and say, that's okay. You're welcome to use our software for free because it was good advertising. every one of them told 10 of their friends to use this software, right? And our sales kept going up. So, I mean, it's like, why are they doing this? Why are they so goddamn idiotic about some of this stuff? I mean, all we're showing clips. We're not delivering the whole thing, right?
Right. Even if we were, it wouldn't make sense to me, because I'm like, look, I'm streaming on YouTube off of YouTube. If they feel like, okay, the original source needs credit, then give them credit. Just count it as people watching the video at source. Don't even count it as video on my channel. And then everybody wins. There's no problem.
I want to pause and acknowledge that Grr Mania has entered the
room.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, Grr.
Please do not bow for long.
Overtalk me, Grr. Overtalk me once. I dare you. Overtalk me. I dare you.
I would never do such a thing. No, I like to overtalk Math Pig anytime I'm in his streams because it's just too much fun. So I see.
I saw Math Pig's channel the other day, and he was dressed to the nines. He looked actually quite professional, incredible. Tell him he's looking incredible, bro. Maybe he won't repeat that mistake.
Yeah, Math Pig. The dude, it's cute. He tries to be a streamer. It's just adorable. Okay, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I'm sure you can relate to that, trying to be a streamer.
What happens is I'll go live. I'll start streaming on Saturday, and like clockwork, he'll come into the stream and say, "Uh-oh, I've got 15 viewers. You have 14. Suck it." And then... And then by the time the night's over with and I end my stream, if he's still streaming, I'll go over to his stream and he'll say, "Okay, you did beat me towards the end of your stream. You had more viewers." And I'm just like, well, cool, I guess. Anyway.
So did you have okay, you were talking about Peter W. with Jay Bundy?
No, so yeah, Peter W. I interacted with. He was in chat when I was on Jay's stream. And then he was in chat again today on my stream. He never comes on the actual stream though. I've invited him repeatedly. He just won't do it.
Yeah, I know we have too, because he's in our chat all the time and saying stuff, and I don't know. So yeah, I thought your conversation with Jay was pretty good, and he was talking about. I think he talked about Taylor too.
Yeah, we talk about her sometimes.
Jay Bundy.
She was just amazing. I mean, she's just amazing. You tell her that there's a paper that says this, and she says, "Nuh-uh."
Yeah.
That's not true. No. The sky is not blue. It's not blue.
Gaslighting.
Yeah. I feel gaslighted half the time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's part of their religious protocol. Gaslighting is part of it.
Yeah, it is. Misinformation. There's where's this thing?
Well, whenever somebody comes to you and says, "You really do believe in God," you're just suppressing the truth. That is the purest example of gaslighting there could be.
Yeah, that and the presuppositionalist stuff. It's just all gaslighting.
Oh, Ray Comfort. That's all he does is gaslight people.
Yeah, he's a disgusting person.
He really is.
This came out today, Genesis Apologetics, and I think these guys give you copyright strikes, but I don't give a rat's ass. But listen to this, because you were talking about the flood a little bit too.
The creatures. So yes, all animals were present for this, even the dinosaurs. We also know this was the case because everything under Adam and Eve's dominion began falling apart as the result of sin's curse. Animals turned from vegetarian to meat eaters. Plants grew thorns and thistles, and now food would be gained by tedious farming, not gardening in a sinless paradise.
What the fuck's the difference between tedious farming and gardening?
Marketing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, look at this. Creation groans. What the fuck is groans? It's like look at what they're... Oh, my God. They were trying to grow wheat. Yeah, they were trying to grow wheat in that shit. That looks like Death Valley or the Salton Sea.
All of creation still groans under the weight of this curse. In time, sin and depravity progressed beyond the point that the Creator would allow. God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
Okay, now listen for it.
The earth was also corrupt before God, and was filled with violence, and all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. The term used for corrupted means marred, spoiled, ruined, or rotted. The consequences of humankind's choice to reject God had reached full measure. So God in his mercy judged the wickedness on earth. He destroyed it with water, stating that
God in his mercy
In his
judged
mercy.
the wickedness on earth. He just, what the fuck?
Right.
I am so merciful. I'm gonna kill all of you because
Everything.
I'm full of mercy.
Okay, and it goes on. Let's see.
he would destroy all flesh with the earth. The earth itself would be the tool God would use to scrub humanity from existence and save the 8 people on the ark.
8 people, like that is the ultimate trolley. That the trolley problem in morality, right?
Right.
Okay, it's like, the train is going to hit like 1 billion people, or it's going to hit 8 people. I'm going to let it hit the billion
trolley
people.
problem. It's like the trolley problem, except you built the trolley, you laid the tracks, and you started the trolley heading in that direction.
And you put the people in the tracks. Like
Exactly.
right there.
Yeah, I almost had a Kent Hovind level stroke.
Yeah.
Anyway, and this it just goes on. I listened to I think about 4 minutes of this, and it's like, fuck it, I can't.
Right.
I am so dumb. Yeah.
It's like they don't understand what the words mean, like mercy and justice and love. And I'm like, think of how many arguments we could be spared if they just had dictionaries in churches. Right next to
Well,
the
they'd have to read the dictionaries, though.
Mercy.
Yeah, they'd have to read it.
Mercy
Here's the
means
thing.
like I have mercy on myself, so I flog myself.
And the thing is, mercy and justice, those things are 2 very different things. If you murder somebody and the judge shows you mercy and just gives you a day in jail as opposed to life in prison or what have you, that's not justice.
Yeah, I'll tell you about mercy. My son and I are having a little disagreement. He's supposed to empty the dishwasher. I fill it.
Mercy.
And I clean the kitchen, right? But he didn't empty the dishwasher for like 3 weeks. So I couldn't put new dishes in the dishwasher because I will not fucking empty the dishwasher. I hate it. So I went up there and our entire sink was covered with this black dirt. And I looked at it and the dirt was crawling around. It was ants. So we had been attacked by ants. So in my mercy, I took the spray hose and we have 145 degree hot water. And I sprayed them down, and I kept doing that. I actually eventually killed the entire ant nest. Like 3 days ago, I had one lonely ant up there because I put peanut butter out for him, and I kept fucking hosing them down. In my mercy, I sprayed them with 145 degree hot water.
Oh, and don't forget, after God drowns them, he dries them off in the lake of fire.
Right, and there are 8 ants in the colony right now that I decided to save. I didn't go out there and kill the colony. So anyway, in my mercy, I saved those 8 ants. So merciful. Fuck. What the fuck, Christians?
We talked about that today too.
Ants.
Yeah, you did. That was on that was on the second stream, right? Where you're talking about it with.
Well, we talked about it in the stream that got locked, and I think we talked about it a little bit less in the second stream. So we read Genesis chapter 6, and I was answering Peter's objection, and I made points. I periodically and make a point about it and go on. And he didn't have a whole lot to say at that point. He never does. He just, you guys are misrepresenting my religion. I'm like, okay, let explain it to me, and then he can't. So there we are.
Yeah. Yes, represented. Oh my goodness!
Imagine my surprise.
Yeah.
What is your thumbnail, Speed?
What's that?
What's your thumbnail? Yeah, I mean your avatar, not thumbnail.
Oh, my new thumbnail. I need somebody to overtalk me so I can show you about my thumbnail.
I've overtalked you twice today. And
I can overtalk you.
You had
And
I think it's great when people overtalk each other.
There's only power. And now I have the power.
sounds like Mark Hamill's voice.
I love that.
that's
Yep.
pretty cool.
Probably going to get a copyright strike for that. That's from a
No, that was
Netflix
too short.
trailer.
That was too short.
I hope so.
I don't
We'll
think
see.
so.
Anyway, I think it's a really good way for me to get in like announcements, like we're going to shoot it in the head, or somebody came in.
Yeah.
I'm just going to nail you assholes. So,
No.
what'd you
Scott-
say, Gur?
I think Scott.
There is only power. And now I have the power.
You. Scott had a
Owned.
question.
Mwah.
Hashtag.
Did I have a question? I didn't have a question.
He says, I mentioned something about Oz.
Oh,
Yeah.
that Oz thing. You had said that they brought their A games for that debate.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Terry and Pat, and then there was some shit that went on Tang where he maybe
Well,
criticized you for it. I just wanted to kind of get an idea of what that was about.
Yeah, I don't want to overblow the thing because it's really nothing too much. But I was watching because Tang or Oz and Jenna were reviewing a good portion of the 7-guy debate with Pat Lowinger, and in that debate I say you both brought your A game, and Oz paused it and said, "Oh, Gur, did you really just say that out loud on YouTube? You think Terry brought his A game?" He says, "I love you, but that don't placate to this douchebag," or something along those lines.
Isn't A game relative to
Yes,
the game that you're able to bring or that you have brought in the past?
Scott, I like we already answered what I was going to say, and so I did leave a comment, non-inflammatory or anything like that. I just said, well, I was being impartial and trying not to show a bias, and I did say that Pat and Terry brought their A game. Whether that A game is good or bad is another story.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, so we're relativistic in terms of A games.
Yeah,
We grade on the curve, so to speak, and it sounds like Oz was, not grading on the curve, shall we say?
So, secular pagan
No,
mom
not
asks
looking
why I can't say put it out the pasture instead of shoot it in the head. Well, when I was a little boy, I had a pet cow, and my dad said, and I noticed it was gone one day, and my dad said we put it out the pasture. And I found out he had actually shot it in the head. So he lied to me. And I never got over that. And that's why I like to be brutally honest. So anyway, that's where it came from. Sorry, I just had to explain that. My childhood trauma at losing Bessie. Bessie was my favorite cow.
Okay. Oh, Bessie.
Oh, Bessie.
Why do
Miss
people
me
name
so.
their cattle after Bessie or Elizabeth? I guess maybe after the Queen. I don't know.
No, because they're cows. Right? They're actually female cows, and we name them after Aunt Bessie and whatever.
And Bessie is short for.
And the bull we call Bruno.
Bruno.
Bruno the bull.
Yeah, Bruno the bull. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's Bruno.
It's Bruno.
But the thing is,
Anybody
bull-
seen that movie?
we had like 14 cows and we had one bull. So where'd the other bulls go? Where'd the other males go? Shot them in the head.
Shot him in the head.
Anyway.
But I would not want anyone to torture themselves, going back to the comment of watching the actual debate. But did anyone here watch some of that debate with Terry and Pat Lowinger?
Yeah, I watched the debate. I watched at least 2 reviews of it. One of them is the 9-hour Jay Patrick. And I actually encouraged Snake was right to get together with Cinematic and grade it the way they grade debates on their
That's a good idea.
on their Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, because going into that debate, like one, they elected me to be the moderator. I didn't offer it. They just said, "Hey, well, if Gur can moderate," and I was like, yeah, okay, that sounds good to me. So then I was like, okay, can we do it like this? 10-minute openings instead of just a pure open flow dialogue. Can we do cross examination, and then we can move into open dialogue, and then closing statements, and then Q&A. And they both agreed to it. And but my thing is, I have seen moderators show a clear bias when they moderate. Not all of them. Obviously, the good ones don't show a bias. They don't show leniency to one side and a critical eye to the other side unless it's like warranted for the sake of moderating. Like if somebody's over talking or going past their time, that's when the mod should step in. So I try my best to be impartial with it. But yeah, overall though, I had a good time, and it was fun. I don't know if I would watch it if I was not moderating it though, because the whole 7-day cycle thing, I just don't care. It's like, one, there's not even a debate because it's so ridiculous, and two, it doesn't matter anyway. It's not a core tenet of Christianity. So I don't even think there'd be any Christians who would necessarily side with Terry on that one.
Yeah, the reason why I watched it was because I just wanted to see what kind of information Pat would bring us, because he's done archaeological work. He's a trained historian.
Oh,
he's
yeah, perfect.
done his research, and I just wanted to see that presented.
Well,
and it turns out that the 7-day week is the best solution to a difficult mathematical problem that doesn't have any good solutions, and that is the moon phases, right? The fact that it isn't exactly 28 days, and it's just a natural thing for everybody to do the 7-day week. It just works.
Right.
So it fell off the moon is what it did. By the way, the movie Moonfall, don't watch that.
It looked so stupid. It looked ridiculous.
Oh, it was fucking bad.
I would have enjoyed it, I'm sure, if I was 13, because I used to love those destruction movies, but it just looked kind of ridiculous to me.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, James, did you ever figure out what Richard actually believes in? What kind of God he believes in?
No, I figured out that his view of what Bibles say is mostly metaphor, is very similar to Jordan Peterson. It's just real life stuff expressed in religious language that doesn't mean what it seems to mean, and I'm okay with that. I've met other people that read it that way. I explained why I don't think I think the writer's meant to be literal usually. I explained why. He thought I made a pretty good case about it, but as far as why he identifies with a bunch of different religious labels, it's because he interprets them differently than religious people do. It's metaphor for real life stuff, and I think he's brilliant, but he reads his smart ideas back into the texts or into the religions and pretends that those were already there. I think that's the problem. Jordan Peterson does the same thing. Christianity. It's amazing. He can't shut up about Christianity, but he still doesn't understand Christianity, right?
Right.
That kind of thing. So it's fine with me. He just uses language differently than most people do.
Yeah. Well, if Richard believes that it's metaphor, I think that's not true of the New Testament so much as the Old Testament, or at least the retranslated New Testament pieces. But the Old Testament, I think, was pretty much metaphor. I don't think it was literal.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I had some objections to that idea, but I'm open to it.
Yeah. Was this on your channel, the video that he was reviewing like 10 minutes ago, James?
Probably.
I'm kind of concerned I pissed off Richard Madsen yesterday when he was talking to you, because, well, he was talking about how suffering could be a good thing.
Oh, yeah. If you bring your child to the dentist, he's going to endure suffering.
But he also mentioned rape victims and how they can speak to other rape victims to help alleviate their.
It's ultimately a dodge. And this is what Cameron Bertuzzi does, capturing Christianity. They move it from the problem of evil to the problem of suffering, because it makes it easier to justify the existence of suffering. But the question isn't about suffering. Suffering doesn't necessitate evil. I would say something's being evil would probably necessitate suffering in some form, but not the other way around. And so you can't let them do that. You have to say, I'm not speaking about suffering specifically. I'm talking about more broadly evil.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to say that some evils are good, then that's just to say that they're not evil.
He was talking about the redemptive value of suffering. And then people in the side chat started commenting, well, this sounds like you're victim blaming a little bit, because he was kind of seemed like he was putting a downward spin on looking down on people who wouldn't speak out about rape, but for the sake of rape victims, like because it might trigger them. Not all post-traumatic stress therapies work well enough for somebody to feel like they can do that. And and so there was this crosstalk about rape and rape victims. And I think maybe he lumped me into that group because he insisted at one point, he said, I am not victim blaming. So I'm just concerned I might have pissed him off or offended him.
No, I actually don't know how Richard would respond to a problem of evil argument. I re-listened. I did want to say, while we're on the subject of arguments, I did re-listen last night to a very, very, very hilarious debate between Jack Angstreich and TJump.
Oh, I would love it.
on physicalism.
Do you have that?
Yes, I can get you the link.
I would like that too.
Oh my god! Speed, you're not gonna like it because Jack runs the same. No, Speed's not gonna like it because Jack runs the same argument that Danny's run on Speed, a rule following argument. So,
which is bullshit.
Well, I mean, there are objections to a rule-following argument, but not for a reductive physicalist. A reductive physicalist has to bite the bullet and say that rules being normative virtues cannot be accounted for in terms of purely physical facts, and thereby the physical facts underdetermine those normative virtues, and thereby those normative virtues cannot be accounted for in terms of strictly those facts. Yeah, so physicalism as an explanation would be underdetermined.
We need philosophy.
Well, no, it's actually just philosophy of like language and stuff, metaphysics. The argument doesn't defeat physicalism, even if you are a reductive physicalist. I mean, I'm not, but even if you are, it just underdetermines physicalism as an explanation. But it's not like a deductive argument against it. You could probably form it deductively, but even in a deductive form, that would just show the underdetermination. It wouldn't show that physicalism is necessarily false.
If you give me a link, I will give it a watch and do an analysis.
It is pretty funny. TJump just...
Was that on TJump's channel or Jack's channel?
Well, it's posted on like 4 different channels.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, like with Jack, like he actually knows philosophy. Like he knows his shit.
Who?
Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I've only watched a little bit of his stuff, but anytime I listen to him, I'm like, this dude knows what the fuck he's talking about.
So when I link it to you, the first like 20-ish minutes, 25-ish minutes are actually sort of more of like a discussion on morality, but it's after that Jack.
Okay. So Rebecca, Sel, and Sai are up to their shenanigans again.
Why is Sal doing this? Or not Sal? Why is Sai doing this?
Sai?
Why is he associating with these kinds of people? I mean, not Rebecca, but like Sal.
Well, when he retires, he needs something to do, and why not speak at Creationist conferences?
Good old Sal Manelli.
He goes along with them, but he stays silent when they start saying things that are patently false, and he goes silent about it when he's talking to them. I've seen him do it. He's just trying to get along with everybody. Sai is so.
Man, you can't be that person.
Yeah, when they're using your credentials basically and saying the fact that you're there, basically, because Sai understands the evidence for evolution. Okay, Leo, so I'm gonna go take a look at that. I hope it doesn't start playing. Don't start playing.
It's so funny.
It started. playing.
And then there's another debate on physicalism between Jack and Brenda. Oh, that one's fucking.
Oh, that one would be pretty
God. That one's fucking hilarious. And it's funnier because Brenda's mic is just OP in that fucking debate.
Yeah. Oh, so this
Leo?
is on objective morality. It's not on physicalism.
No, like I said, the first like 20 to 25 minutes is on morality, and after that, Jack runs the rule following argument.
Oh, is Jack a dualist too?
No, well, a property dualist, yes, but property dualism is not the same thing as substance dualism. The second link is the debate between Jack and Brenda. That one's fucking funny.
I'll put those in the description. As soon as that properly.
All these are from the Godless Girls channel.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
It's about 90 degrees outside.
Wow. Whose
Scott,
phone was
it's 90
that?
degrees outside, Scott.
Sorry about that.
Scott, it's
79 degrees.
Thanks, everybody. I really needed to know what the temperature was outside.
It's 28 degrees outside in Iowa.
Oh wow.
28 degrees
Wow.
Celsius.
Yes.
Oh.
You goddamn Celsius people from Iowa. That's why. When we go
This is
south,
America. God damn it.
we drive through Wisconsin. We go all the way down through Illinois and stuff just to avoid Iowa. We never go there.
It's good for you. If you want to go through Chicago instead of Iowa, go for it, buddy. Go for it.
The goddamn corn puts you to sleep, and then just about the time you go to sleep.
Sounds like you're talking about Nebraska, not Iowa.
No, Iowa. From watching cornfields, you fall asleep and then you hit a deer, because in Iowa they don't pick their roadkill up; they let the cars smush it into the pavement.
Is that also where they're having problems with what they're calling zombie deer?
Oh yeah, those are.
Oh
horrible.
yeah.
Those things they're really interesting. Their faces are swollen and their eyes look funny, and they come into your yard and they walk right up to you and they're like, "Oh my god, it's a zombie!" And I don't know, do they eat brains?
Brains. They will eat lots of. They'll eat birds, but I don't know about bird brains.
1 minute, my ass.
So that's weird. I wonder what kind of bacteria, virus, or fungus is responsible for that.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, I mean, they took some samples of some material, and initially they thought it was just, a conglomerate of a Pseudomonas fluorescens, but it appears to be more of a mutated strain of simple Bacillus, which should be benign, but, well, they didn't really know what to make of it.
really.
No, I'm not being serious. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. I'm quoting
You're
from something.
you said.
Gurr might remember what I'm quoting from, but I'm quoting from something.
Okay. Are you quoting from a fucking zombie movie?
I was
No.
scrolling through some of those
No, I'm not.
debates.
Oh, were you? You had the site muted, didn't you?
Maybe.
I do the same thing. I'll mute the site. See, the fucking thing is, I'll mute the site, but then I'll forget to mute myself, and I'll burst out laughing, and nobody will know why.
See, if there were any zombie deer that lived near me, I'd get an Umbrella Corporation stencil and then keep a red spray paint can handy so I could properly tag them when they come up to the property.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, here's kind of a rule of thumb: when a animal that normally stays away from humans or is only out at night or something does the opposite, run away. It's never a good sign.
Good evening,
Can
Melody.
you take away Maynard saves wrench speed just for a minute?
Do what?
Just for a minute.
Jason Torn.
No name was timed out by
Okay,
secular.
never mind.
Okay, why was no name timed out?
Fuck me, bro.
I don't care. Jason Torn. I have a question for you.
Jason.
Let me know if you're paying attention in the side chat.
Blink once if you're listening, Jason.
What did No Name do? What did No Name do to secular pagan, Mom?
Let's see here. Let me look.
Nice.
Wow, there's a lot of
secular.
comments.
Okay, he said, no, he complimented her. He said, nice. Whispering hands gently lead him away. I don't know what he did. Same day yet, he'll begin his life again. Not sure what he's talking about. Arse is starfish. I'm not sure what that one was.
Yeah, I'm not sure I follow.
No, I'm not following the whole, okay, No Name. Even flow thoughts arrive like, what the fuck? Okay.
That sounds like somebody's writing a poem.
It sounds like Stephanie. You don't know, so he chases them away. Same day yet, he'll begin his life
Stephanie
again.
says they were doing poetry.
Okay. I don't know what the hell they're
You
doing.
got time to fuck out.
You got time to fuck out over it, man.
Time to fuck out.
Yeah. Anyway.
Someday
So I had to-
he'll begin his life again. Okay.
I had to go look up physicalism, and I'm one of those guys.
Okay, apparently that was
You know, you could have just asked, hey, what's physicalism? It's the idea that the mind is in some way, shape, or form reducible to or emergent from or in some way constituted by purely physical substrates.
Yeah, anytime Leo says something I don't know, I'm just like, Leo.
And there is no good argument.
Okay, Jason, Torn. If I can get a 2v2 debate on the flat earth with Nathan Thompson as one of our opponents, would you team up with me? It would be on Modern Day Debate, and it would be fucking phenomenal exposure for you and your channel. If you didn't have any other reason to do it, that would be one. Let me tell you.
Well,
I'm going to try to get a 1v1 with Nathan, but James said he might not do it. And so he said yes. And I was going to say in the instance of a 2v2, I thought that Jason would be a really, really good fit. And so I just wanted to see if he'd be willing to do that.
Yeah, if Jason doesn't have a few good points against flat earth, I would be very surprised.
So what happened here, Secular Pagan Mom is our paid assassin in our chat.
Well, she said it. Apparently, she didn't mean for it to happen. She's now apologized to No Name.
Right. She's got her finger on the trigger and her sights on everybody. And every now and then an accident happens.
Every once in a while, yeah.
Every now and then she shoots somebody in the head that she isn't supposed to shoot.
So there are innocent incidentals that get killed sometimes.
And this is why we pay her so well. Very accurate. Anyway, we just, you're going to lose a few innocents along the way, and that's just the cost of doing business. I'm sorry, No Name.
There were incidents and accidents, hints and allegations.
Yeah. High cost of living.
It's better than picking
eight cost of living high
out of a billion. Not quite as bad.
I'm surprised Speed doesn't know the song that I just fucking quoted from.
I don't know that song, but
do it again.
Wait, Scott, you know it?
I don't know it, but I can probably two-step to it.
Okay, I don't know if you guys.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to. Oh, we're gonna watch some more of this. Yes, please.
I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but I don't hear like more than 30% of what's said anywhere ever. It's just the way my brain works. The record skips, so I really don't hear. So what the hell were you saying, Leo?
No, I quoted. I said the high cost of living ain't nothing like the cost of living high.
Never heard that one. I'm sorry, I don't know
it either.
Is that country?
Well, yeah.
God,
what's the name? Oh, give me a second.
Get out of the corn, Leo.
Jamie Johnson, the same one that sings In Color. You should have seen it in color. You can't tell me you don't fucking know that song.
No, I've never heard a country song.
Oh, that's bullshit. That's fucking.
You've never heard a country song.
Oh, dude, he said something that is such bullshit. I about said his real fucking name. Speed.
Okay, the last country song I heard was, what the fuck was it? Hank Williams in 1929, I think, sang "Your Cheating Heart." I think that was the last country song.
No.
Oh, actually,
I feel like James heard me about say Speed's real name because I did.
Are we not supposed to? Is that like taboo here?
I don't think he cares, but I just try not to.
What?
Fair enough.
Say your real name. I don't think that you really care, but I just try not to.
No, my name is Mike Bruzenak. I made that public. So anyway, that is public. I'll show you. I'm trying to find the last country song that I.
Icarus, we can say Mike and we can drop Mike. So,
Gur, what time are you streaming this Friday? Oh, he'd be right. Okay, never mind. I'll wait till he gets back.
I'm gonna get a copyright strike for this one. But it's
nobody
fucking
recognized the song I quote. Go ahead.
Okay, the last country song I heard is this one here. Let's see. I think this is it. Is that? Oh, sorry.
Sinner, do not stray from the straight and narrow way, for the Lord is surely watching what you do. If you approach the day and turn round, don't in.
What's that?
That's enough. We don't want to get a strike.
Oh, no.
Let the hand of the Almighty fall on you. He'll fuck you up. He'll fuck you up. Yes, God will fuck you up if you dare to disobey His stern command.
Anyway, I will post that.
I want to link to that too.
I'm putting a link in my
Gur,
description.
is your bitch ass back yet?
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. That's a good one. It's by John R. Butler, The Hand of the Almighty.
You know who you should play, Speed? You should play some Johnny Rebel.
Your awesome melody.
Johnny Rebel. That one, I've heard that name. Was he like popular back in the 50s or 60s?
Do not play any Johnny Rebel. You will not have a channel if you play Johnny Rebel. He's the one that played all the racist music. Well, I like sugar and I like tea, but I like no sweet. Okay, Gur, what time are you streaming Friday?
I'm pretty sure.
What time? What time are you planning?
I would say 6 at the earliest.
6 Eastern?
At the latest. Eastern.
So somewhere between 5 and 6 Central.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, great. Well, I'm setting a premiere for, and it's almost 2 hours for 3:30. So that's 3:30 p.m. my time. So that's 4:30 p.m. your time.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
I just didn't know because I would like to obviously join your stream, assuming that you're opening it up. You might not be. But anyway, I'd still want to watch it. So
Well,
yeah.
I appreciate that. You all right, Leo. I don't care what somebody says about you. But no, yeah.
Let me show you guys what I'm drinking here. You're gonna love this. Oh shit! I clicked the wrong button. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You look like you're
Georgia. Budweiser. Ooh.
So you're drinking some water?
It's made for fishes, but humans can drink it too.
Some store-bought water.
Okay.
I'm sorry I didn't see get the notification for the you sending me the link in email, Speed, because I really wanted to come in and. When I say go off on Rebecca, I don't mean in like a mean, rude, or disrespectful way, but I had papers lined the fuck up.
My God, the way she misrepresented that quote that she did from that book, and then she claims to have read the entire book, and now that is a really highly technical book.
Have you read it, Speed?
Not all of it. I've read a couple chapters of it.
Okay, so then just do what I do when people tell me they've read all of Marx's Das Kapital. I just go, no, you fucking haven't. Why are you lying to me?
Yeah, if she read this all, I don't understand what she got out of it. If she got out of it that they were saying, hey, biogenesis is impossible. Because
anytime if there's any piece of advice I can give any of you, anytime somebody says, oh, well, that's such and such, is like, for instance, if you hear somebody go, well, hey, biogenesis, life starting from purely natural means is just impossible. Say, well, wait, what's the contradiction?
Yeah, what exactly is impossible? And then she cherry picks this quote where they said that some paths may turn out to be impossible. And what they mean by impossible is that they are highly unlikely probability-wise, and that's the point they were making. They're still not impossible.
Leo, what's your premiere about, by the way?
What's my what?
Your premiere Friday. What's that about?
Do you guys? I was actually going to ask you guys. Do you guys know who Made by Jim Bob is?
I've seen that name. But I don't.
Well, it was a discussion that I had with him on general relativity, space-time, and the philosophy of science. It was actually a pretty decent discussion. So.
Okay, so who is
Because
he?
well, he's got some interesting views. I will say that. I don't agree with probably most of what he says, but we had a really good discussion. It didn't seem like he denies that gravity exists. I don't think that's what he was saying. He just denies that space-time is a physical thing that's like actually real.
So why is it not on your channel?
It will be on Friday at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah, but you haven't set the premiere up yet, so I can't link.
I'm literally setting it up right now. It says uploading 18%, 46 minutes left because I have a shitty fucking MacBook Pro.
Yeah, that sucks. That is a long time.
Oh my God, Leo. So you mentioned something that I can't link to on my channel. Oh my God.
You goddamn right. Would you like me to start talking about shit that I've heard on Clubhouse that you can't link to?
No. No. Don't do that.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Don't.
Do it, you will.
Do you know what positive means?
No.
It means you're sure.
Are you positive about that?
I'm sure. I'm sure I don't want you to do that. Yes,
Are you
I'm
positive?
I'm absolutely positive.
Are you HIV positive?
I'm not just sure. I'm HIV positive. I think Gary might know what I'm quoting from.
Oh man.
And then fucking Kyle every time he says it. God damn it, Kermit! Oh fuck.
Well, should we play just one little clip from this Taylor thing?
Yes, we should. Please. This was such a fucking dude. I'm sorry. Like, I love Jason. Jason did well in this discussion. There's only one thing that I have to criticize Jason on. One thing only. I wish he was just a little bit more aggressive. But that everybody knows me. I like aggression when it's necessary. And like Taylor, she'd like not just over talk you, but like under talk, if you know what I mean. We're like say something but not super loud, but enough to be heard while you're saying something. Or she'd be like, "Well, where's the paper for that?" Or this, that, and the other. Like just a simple snark. It's just all you need to do when somebody does something like this. I'm sorry. I haven't finished speaking yet.
I think I've queued up the perfect example of where she does this. So let me see.
No hypotheses for suggesting
working hypotheses.
Right
no
there.
working
Well,
ones
what's a working hypothesis?
that can actually be plausible.
Wait a minute. No,
Christ.
a working hypothesis is one that can be replicated and testable in the actual environment.
We're not there.
Fair enough. But wait a second. What you're saying is that there are no reasonable, because I'm going to get to my second point.
Yeah.
You're saying that if we looked at the mass of literature, there are no hypotheses for abiogenesis.
I am saying yes.
Okay,
Yep. So that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard come out of somebody's mouth who's wearing a lab coat other than Kent Hovind.
Well, you think that dogs are related to mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Never seen a non-dog come from a dog.
But that was an example of the under talking that she did throughout the entire thing, and it was.
Why don't we have a Kent Hovind talking or impression contest somewhere on the internet, on YouTube or something?
Dr. Josh,
why has that not been done?
Josh would win because Dr. Josh would win.
I don't know.
Everybody knows
some
it.
pretty good ones. We could have him judge it.
No. He's going to be in it. Like, I'm sorry. He is the closest you can get to Kent Hovind without being Kent Hovind. I'm sorry.
There may be some other good
like
ones.
everything, the diction, the cadence, the clearing of the throat, like it's to a T. It's fucking Kent Hovind. Like, rarely have I seen somebody do an impression that well. And I'm being honest when I say that.
Well, what we need to do then is ask the question out there, challenge somebody who thinks they have a better Kent Hovind than Josh Bowen, and see if anybody dares to come up front,
Hey guys,
up front or whatever.
my son wants to get the leash and take me for a walk, and my children had a really bad day today. They my twins, they found out that I had sex with their mama.
Oh.
It's not because it's not okay. They explained that it's not because they're naive or they're dumb, and it took them till they were 42 years old to find out that I had sex with their mama. It's because, as they explained to me, they just didn't want to think about it. But today they did, and I need to go and console them.
Families in America are in crisis, and this is why.
Gur.
Yes, I'm here.
Which debate out of the two that I posted were you watching the most of?
It was the with Jack Angstreich and TJump.
Oh man,
Just a little fraction of it.
the one with Brenda, man. Dude, it's Brenda's mic. Brenda's mic is what makes it so fucking.
Does it like cut off or something?
No. It's you gotta listen to it, dude. It's
Okay, boys and girls, we're going to shoot it in the head.
Boys and burls,
Boys and girls and whatever.
peoples and persons.
Peoples and persons. We're going to shoot.
Dreamers of all
That's what I
ages.
should say from now on. I should say peoples and persons and kitties.
Fuck
Anyway.
kids.
Well, then you're gonna have to say doggies too.
Oh,
Can't
shit.
be exclusionary.
No, fuck dogs.
That's why I just said peoples and persons.
Okay. Okay, guys.
I just say lovelies. Gets right to it. Granted, Math Pig is discounted from that when I say lovelies, but you know.
Yeah. I just want to do this one more time while
There
we're.
is only power. And now I have the power.
I have the power.
Shooting in the head, guys. So anyway, thanks everybody. We got a lot of people watching today, and we should probably go over and watch Sygart and Rebecca and He Who Shall Not Be Named misrepresent evolutionary science.
He who shall not mention Gödel's incompleteness theorems.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy that claims he's got a physics degree and he doesn't understand what fucking vector spaces are. Anyway, okay, guys. We're out of here.
Subscribe fast. I said fast.
Hypocamus.
Where's it linked
Come
to
on, cool world.
Rebecca's stream?
I said fast.
Watch that Hypocamus.
Math is
Fast.
Jesus Christ, guys. What? We're still live.